Hi everyone. My name is Siddharth, and my project for this for the neural networks and deep learning class is related to building a model that essentially anonymizes speech via voice conversion. Now, speech is a very rich attribute that can be used for a variety of purposes. It's used to analyze mental health patterns from variations in speech. It's also used to detect Parkinson's disease, and it can also be used um, for a wide variety of reasons, especially in the education sector, if you're especially trying to train someone in terms of conversation and speaking in front of uh, an audience, right? And so there comes a certain amount of risk when you're analyzing speech because it doesn't just encode linguistic information. It also has prosodic information, which is related to pitch and the tone of a person. And it also has speaker identity related cues embedded in them as well. And so what essentially happens is when you're analyzing speech, you get a lot more information about the person that's more personally identifiable, and which is something that you want to kind of anonymized when you're analyzing speech as well in terms of privacy. But the challenge here is that when it comes to analyzing speech, you have linguistic information, prosodic, and the speaker identity, like I said, and it's not really easy to disentangle each one of these attributes from each other. More often than not, each one of these attributes encode information from the other attribute as well, and sort of leaking information. So what I'm doing in my project is that I'm building a model that tries to specifically disentangle these speech attributes in a well effective manner. And the way I do that is I used three different pre-trained models: the higher speech model to get my content related information, the X vector model to get my speaker related information, and then the VQVAE model to get the pitch related information, right? And once I have each one of these embeddings, I pass them on to my decoder, which is essentially a collection of different LSTMs, feed-forward neural network, and with an attention mechanism. And this decoder essentially takes the embeddings coming from a specific original utterance, and then it decodes them and converts the voice into uh, a different sort of a voice. And this voice would essentially have the same content and pitch as the original utterance, but it sort of tries to change how the person sounds. And so it doesn't sound like the original person. So that was pretty much it about the methodology of my specific model. And when it comes to the results, to be honest, I have to be frank here. My model was not 100% perfect. The converted voice did have a little bit of background noise to it and a little bit of static as well. Uh, so in certain converted speeches, it was hard to sort of figure out what the words were. But on the flip side, when I compared the speaker embedding of the original uh, utterance with the speaker embedding from the converted utterance with a cosine similarity, uh, the cosine similarity of all of the converted speeches had or were less than 0.24, and that was about 75%. So about 75% of all of the conversions did not sound like the original one, which I think is pretty good. And it wasn't just complete static, as you can see from the predicted Mel spectrogram here, which essentially indicates how the converted speech sounds. You can see the highs and lows at different and various points in time, which essentially is when the person was speaking. And so it wasn't entirely static. And at the same time, it was able to kind of suppress the speaker related information from the original utterance, which I think is pretty great. Um, that is pretty much about my model. Uh, and yeah, thank you.